For what it's worth, I mean, I'm not an expert on the court system, although I've become in the last few days more of a more knowledgeable. Thanks, Cy. Cy, you should know, is the only New York City district attorney who's ever called me as a witness, or one of his prosecutors. Actually, the first elected official I ever met in the city was another district attorney, Judge Brown. Dick and Rhoda became friends of mine 20-odd years ago, and Diana and I have dinner with him all the time. And he and Cy, I think, are two guys that really make a big difference in this city. Judith Kay, if you don't like what we've done, Judith Kay swore me in, blame her. And in terms of Lippman, he has passed the ultimate test. Michael Cardoza thinks you're great. I don't know how that happened. Seriously, there are a number of people who make a difference. Our Commissioner for Corrections, Dora Schreier, is here. Jonathan Mintz, who runs Consumer Affairs and stops more fraud probably than the police department. And Bob Tierney from our Landmarks Commission, who has no connection whatsoever to the law, but is here tonight soaking up the alcohol. That is one of the great things that he does for all of us. Anyways, I did want to thank Judge Lippman and Judge Kay for being so committed to making New York's judicial system the best in the nation. It really is, and it's easy when you're so close to forget that. But I don't think there's any other place in this country that is well served. There's no other place that's as diverse as New York City, where the problems are so complex, where you have the press looking over you all the time, where there are no right answers, but where we have to make decisions and move on. And first under Judith and now under Jonathan, the system really is doing that. Maybe if Chaz Bono can make it to the next round of Dancing with the Stars, or assuming the Yankees beat the Tigers tonight, everyone can go home and spend their time DVing Glee. But this is a wonderful city, and there's an awful lot to do, and it just shows you what goes on. So thank you very much for having me, and thank you for your kind words. Let me point out some of the friends here. Bob Keating. Bob is known for two things. One, wearing a bow tie. And number two, for being actually, he and a couple of others have made the selection process of the judges that we select, this administration select, for criminal court and family court. It's criminal court and family court? I think those are two. I think we picked the best judges any city has ever picked. Every single one of them has gone through a review process. Carol Robles-Roman has spearheaded it. It's a process that really has left the city and will for the next 10 or so years in phenomenal shape. People really will get justice in this city, and that's what this is all about. One of my first experiences with the court system was going and meeting Judge Calabresi. Jonathan Feinblatt took me to that court. I remember it very well. It was 10 years ago, maybe 10 and a half years ago. And Amanda Burden is somebody who was there at the time, and she is my neighbor, so I have to say nice things about her, which is not hard to do in the case of Amanda. But actually, she used to talk to me long before I even met John about the Center for Court Innovation back in 2001, and I was just beginning my campaign for mayor then. By giving judges more options, more carrots, and more sticks, the center gives defendants a better chance at turning their lives around and staying out of trouble. We all know about the turnstile justice that we have. Reducing recidivism is one of the toughest things to do in criminal justice, but it is probably the most important and certainly can make the greatest impact on the crime rate. Everybody wins when it happens. Our streets are safer, taxpayers spend less money on jail, and people put their talents to more productive uses. And I think it's fair to say that no one has been as effective at finding new ways to reduce recidivism than the Center for Court Innovation. And no person has been more effective in pioneering innovative criminal justice strategies, both inside and outside of government, than John Feinblatt. As many of you in this room know, John was the founding director of the Center for Court Innovation, which grew out of the Midtown Community Court, which he also helped create back in the early 90s. Back then, many critics said New York was an ungovernable city, Times Square was just hopeless, and that nothing could be done to reduce crime and disorder. And of course, that wasn't true, and people like John knew it. Throughout his career, John has been a force for challenging conventional wisdom and disrupting the status quo. That is the defining spirit of the Center for Court Innovation, and it's also the defining spirit of our administration. I see former Deputy Mayor Ed Schuyler, who had a lot to do with our past history, is glaring at me back there for embarrassing him and mentioning him, but he really was a very big part of our administration for 8 years. He chose to leave, but that's okay. We'll get even. No, don't think we don't think we'll ever forget. Deputy Mayor Patty Harris is here, standing with Diana Taylor someplace back there. The Center has been our partner, seriously, on a number of reform initiatives, from providing the improving the return of parolees to Harlem, to reducing juvenile detention in Staten Island and in Queens, to promoting alternative incarceration in the Bronx. Taken together, these programs really have touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers and help us drive crime down to record lows. John Feinblatt has been such an important part of our administration's crime-fighting efforts over the past decade. On issue after issue, he has not only come up with big, new, innovative ideas, John's actually gone out and implemented them. And a lot of people can do one or the other, but John really is one of the rare breed that can do both and can do both highly effectively. He's done both on some of the very toughest, most intractable problems we face: illegal guns, illegal hotels, illegal conversions, bootlegging cigarettes, counterfeiting goods, school truancy, juvenile justice, domestic violence, and the list could go on and on and on. John is an innovator because at the heart of it, he is a problem solver. He refuses to accept that something can't be made better, and he doesn't stop trying to find ways to do it. I can just tell you, once he gets an idea, he does not stop. At times you just want to turn and say, enough! I cannot make 5 more trips to Washington to lobby for a law change or whatever. But he doesn't stop, and this city and the people that live here really are the beneficiaries. In government, as in any organization, that's exactly the kind of person that you want to work with. We've been lucky to have him at City Hall for a decade. As you may know, John's work extends far beyond criminal justice. He's also my chief policy advisor on many issues, including innovation, immigration, and infrastructure. And John was instrumental in helping us lead the charge for marriage equality in New York State. Of course, he didn't tell me then that in exchange for his help, I would have to officiate at his wedding to mince our Consumer Affairs Commission, and I truly was honored to do so. The truth of the matter is that Diana and I were playing golf. I got to tell you the story quickly. We played 18. We decided to play another 9. I had maybe the best 9 holes of my life. Now, we had to leave to come back to officiate at the wedding. And I started to think, are you sure that we should be there? Are you sure they really should get married? What should we think about this? Anyways, we came back and we had a great time, and your daughters seemed happy that we were there. Whether you and Jonathan are happy about it, I don't know. Really, when you think about it, it is only fitting that a guy who has devoted his entire career to creating a more just society, to helping bring about justice for so many New Yorkers who has long been denied it, that John should be honored tonight. So congratulations, and congratulations to everyone at the Center for Court Innovation on 15 great years. I would love to stay with you for the rest of the evening, but we have 3 more events to go to. Mary, thank you for everything you do. I will see you all the next time. This is a nice night, and this is a good guy to honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.